So Delray Brooks, is just for the people, make sure they caught that, was really the catalyst in helping to get you to be a manager. Once the hoop dream kind of died out, you had to figure out a way to get in where you fit in and to be a part of that. So you looked into becoming a manager. What was that process like back then? Like how did I know he has the connection to maybe connect you to somebody, but what was the process like back then to become a manager?
Yeah, it's a really good point because it was really competitive, like it is today.
Yeah,
I mean, being a basketball
exactly.
manager was a big deal, and I didn't know much about it until I really owed all to him because I wouldn't
Okay.
even thought about it if it hadn't been for him.
Wow.
Because I wasn't a manager in high school or anything, and he told me about it, and then in a way, because in fact it's funny, AJ, because we came down. My sister was a year older than me. We brought her down to school,
Mhm.
and Delray had already committed to IU at that time, and we stopped by to visit Coach Knight. Just Delray and I was with him. And he told Coach Knight, I want to be, this is going to be my roommate, Scott. He wants to be a manager.
Oh,
And I remember
wow.
Coach Knight looked at me and he said, just so you know, I'm a lot of times I'm tougher on the managers than I am the players. So I don't know if you can handle that. And was kind of joking with me a little bit. And then I'll never forget, he looked at me as I was walking away and he said, you always look like you were up to something. Are you up to something or something like that? It was kind of funny. But
Right, yeah.
anyway, I interviewed for the position. I applied, but I admit I had a little bit of thumb on the scale because of Delray. I don't
Yeah.
think I was 100% guaranteed, but it helped me
Mhm.
get in and, went through the interview process. And then again, one of the best things that happened to me, certainly
Mhm. Absolutely.
professionally and just, my lifelong fraternity, best friends, whether it's players or
Yeah.
managers and, going through that time. I was here for a great time period from 85 to 88. Delray
Yeah.
ultimately transferred to
Yeah.
Providence, played for Rick Pitino there. They made the Final Four in 87, the year we
Mhm.
won it. Syracuse beat them. And just the way it all came together was really unbelievable. And just,
Yeah. That's
draw on that experience every day.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, man. Just that connection, that friendship was able to spark everything that we see today. And people don't understand. That's why you gotta, network and take advantage of opportunity
Right.
when you're in school. Something I wish I would have did a little better. When you're big man on campus, kinda, you kind of
Mm-hmm.
keep to yourself instead of, because people always want to talk. You want to talk
Yeah.
IU.
Yeah.
If I had to rewind it, I would do it all over again. I would make way more connections than I
It's a
did
good point.
because you might, and I tell young players that all the time now, like, don't put your head down and walk down the hallway, man. Connect, meet people, because IU is just a melting pot of different people that end up in different professions that you get opportunities from. So that's interesting that happened to you. Do you remember the moment that you were told that you were a manager? Was it like what was it exciting or
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
nerve-wracking?
I was excited.
Yeah.
It was a more formal process than I expected.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
didn't
was
know
it?
what to expect, just going through the process of interviewing and all that, and the questions, and the senior managers asked you questions, and it was a
Oh, okay.
really,
Mhm.
so it was definitely a relief. I thought I had a chance because of Delray, and I had an in, but you never know till it happens. And I was really excited,
Yeah.
and to be honest with you, AJ, I still didn't know exactly what I was doing. I didn't know what
Right.
I was getting into, and then you start going to the preseason conditioning and you sort of get thrown into it. And like most, sort of fraternities in a way, you start out on the lowest rung and you're doing the grunt work. And then
Yeah.
as you build, you get more responsibility as you grow. And so I remember just the older guys putting me through the tests and,
Yeah.
they knew I was Delray's best friend. So maybe they even
So
were a little harder on me
even
thinking, hey,
harder
this
on you,
guy's
right?
got to earn his way. But those guys to this day, when I look back, I can give you name after name, guys like Bill Heimbrook and
Mhm.
Jim Kelly and Jeff Stuckey and these guys, Mark Sims, that
Mhm.
were older managers than me that really groomed me into learning what it was like to really work hard, have responsibility. And I draw on it to this day, that experience I had, to be honest with you.
When you walked out there that first practice, was it like, were you shocked at
Oh,
because I remember the intensity of the managers. I remember the speed and velocity with which they had to move from drill to drill. Like, and I just remember that. I mean, they're sweating sometimes harder. Because we back then, did you have the gray shirt and the red shorts? I think it was gray.
that's right. Well, I'll tell you the
Yeah.
funniest thing. I'll never forget my first practice because the managers get everything ready for practice, and then we play
Yep.
games, right? And
Yep.
so we're playing a game. I mean, and so the 10 of the managers go out and play 5-on-5, and so I'm out there, and Coach Knight's over there on the side. So it's almost like you're playing like it's a tryout. You think if
Right.
enough players get hurt, I may be that guy they need to practice. So
Right.
even if you were any good in high school, so we're out there playing. This is really funny. And I remember we're out there playing, and you think, man, you're just playing a pickup game. So we get out there, and I'm a freshman, and I get the ball and fire up some crazy shot. And one of the older guys is like, man, you need to set a screen and get Bill open. And I'm like, what do you mean set a screen and get Bill open? I'm from Michigan City. Bill needs to get himself open. And then I do it again. And I do something crazy. And man, they subbed me out of the manager game. They sent me to go film upstairs and said, man, if you're not going to run the offense, the managers ran the offense. We ran the motion offense. We set screens. We're playing like it's a real deal. So I just remember thinking how funny that was. I'm thinking that's a manager's pickup game. So I learned real quick.
Right.
I need to get Bill open, man. I need to be a screener. And then the crazy thing is practice, like you said, was so intense that I didn't even realize, because we did the individual kind of stuff before a coach really started practice. I thought that was so intense. I thought practice was half over. It was so intense. And then come to find out, we hadn't even started practice yet. It was just the individual work stuff. So
Yep.
you know how that went.